Before we get into it, I want to acknowledge the Reddit user SwordRevolutionary337 who actually created a Reddit post in the Need for Speed subreddit about this topic. They were the person who actually inspired me to dive a bit deeper into a what if scenario regarding this topic for the next Need for Speed game, so I wanted to give them credit. I won't be using the exact idea that they had come up with, but it is what the basis of my idea is on. What is that idea, you ask? The idea to bring the bounty system back after winning a race or doing an event. Think the rep system in Need for Speed Heat and how after every single race, instead of a lot of money, you would gain more and more rep. Instead of this rep simply being for AI police and to unlock things like cars and additional parts, what if instead players who were cops and racers, think Need for Speed Rivals, could see that rep and target you to take it for themselves? This rep would of course be the bounty, and if the opposing player is successful with knocking you out, then I think they should be rewarded with 80% of the total bounty. A cool little explanation would be that 20% goes to paying off the cops and 80% goes to the racer. And if the player is currently in a cop car, then 80% would go to them and 20% would be going to the police department to keep things quiet about taking the money. To make things somewhat fair, any person who has a bounty should not be able to be targeted while doing a race or doing an event. Only after those events are finished. One thing I could not stand about Rivals is how random players could come try and knock you out while you were doing objectives like racing or anything else. This, in my opinion, isn't fair for anyone and creates unnecessary conflict when the same thing can be done when both parties are on even ground. If you are doing a race, then that should be the only thing you are focused on, not having to focus attention on AI cops who are already in the race and hard to avoid, keep in mind, AI racers who could be annoying on their own, and now you have to worry about some random person seeing your bounty and trying to crash you out to get it. Just like that, you have lost a race and lost all your bounty in something that you couldn't even avoid. Let's keep that sort of stuff in Rivals and not have the new game take from that. As for what type of events around the map could build bounty, I think obviously racing would be the best source of growth. The more races you do, the higher the bounty gets, and you could even have a multiplier based on how many races you continue to do in a row. Then depending on what the next game offers, we could have bounties increase from drift events, drag events, hot laps, speed traps, small things like that where they give you a piece of the bounty but nothing super noticeable. The best way I could describe that is think of Unbound and how you are able to get a small percentage of money when completing something like a speed trap on the highway. It's something like 1,000 to 5,000 for completing the challenge and beating the racer, right? That's how it should go. If I'm thinking about it, any event that requires a slight challenge should give you a bounty, depending on practicality. To put it another way, you would not get bounty for collecting the paint cans around the map or getting any other collectibles because those have no challenge behind them. If there is a night mode in the next game, I think it should give the player the opportunity to either earn more bounty or earn more money, but I do not think the bounty system should be exclusive to either daytime or nighttime. You are an outlaw regardless of the time period you are in and should be able to be chased down. The reason why I say give the choice instead of it being just bounty is because at the end of the day, we still need to be able to purchase things, and if bounty is not the currency that they use, then people may be in trouble if all they do is grind bounty. Maybe give players an option to favor either more money per race or playlist or more bounty. For example, there could be a choice you would have to make before leaving the garage where it says either bounty or cash, and if you pick one, then it would give 80% bounty and 20% money for the total winnings you would get for your placement. Another thing that could be beneficial for all players and the bounty system is double bounty playlist or individual races, which would be on the same lines as the boosted playlist we currently have in Unbound. And why not have a variety of boosted playlists, right? Instead of just having double bounty, maybe have a 1.5 times multiplier, or even have a triple reward boosted event that happens once every few hours. It doesn't just have to be races. I don't see a reason why every event could not be boosted at some point or another in a lobby. This will encourage players to get as much bounty as possible and also gives those who lost their bounty a chance to gain it back and then some without being behind the curve for too long. Some other things are how it has been in other racing games. Races with more players than AI should get more bounty, and the difficulty of every event, such as escaping from the cops, would factor into how much bounty you actually get at the end. But keep in mind that events would also calculate the amount of bounty based on the position you finish in a race or the amount of drift score you get. We aren't going to do a participation trophy sort of thing where everyone, regardless of position in a race or event, will get the same amount of bounty score, because at that point, what is the point of trying when you race? If first place and last place get the same thing, then why sweat? We don't want to lose the casual audience for this game because of something like this. Of course, those who want to be super fast will want to get first just to get it. But if we are going to be honest, a lot of players that play Need for Speed are trying to get first because the value in the reward is higher than that of the places under it. One question I could see being asked is, what are the defensive measures a player could take against those who try to take their bounty? Me personally, I am all for equal opportunity, and I believe that both parties' bounties should be available for the taking. If you want to go after someone, then you better be prepared for things to flip and them then starting going after you. Both parties should have countermeasures and objects to help either escape other racers and cops or destroy other racers and cops. Think pursuit tech in Unbound, but if both players could use it on both sides of the spectrum. Or for those who have played Hot Pursuit, the game, not the game mode in Unbound, think about how as a racer you could use the tech and as a cop you could use the tech to be either on the offensive side or defensive side. Bottom line is that no player will be completely vulnerable, because for all of us who have played Unbound's version of Hot Pursuit, it is actually unbearable the amount of cheese and abilities the police have and that they can use to take you down, and you literally have nothing to defend yourself with. We don't want a repeat of that. The last thing I want to cover is what bounty would be used for. I'm kind of torn on what the main use for it should be, so let me know down in the comments what y'all think. On one hand, it could be the general currency of the game and you can buy things with it, but at the same time, that would mean you would be making significantly less on each race and event that you do. On the other hand, it could be used just like how Rep as in Heat was, where you can use it to unlock things, but you still need money at the end of the day to actually obtain those things. I'm leaning more towards that idea, and my process is that, for example, a Lamborghini would need 1 million total bounty score to be unlocked for purchase, which is obtained by making it to a safe house and banking it without being caught. And then the actual car would be the price of whatever amount of cash. Yes, this is a two-part system, but the other thing is that I feel it would be okay to stack, meaning if a Lambo costs 1 million bounty and a Honda costs 30,000 bounty, then you would unlock the Honda and the Lambo when you reach 1 million bounty instead of having to go back and get more. Or they could always do it where you would need to spend the bounty and spend the money, meaning you would need to get both to unlock a car fully. Really, if this idea were to happen, it would be all up to them, but I want to see what y'all think about those options. I think money would still be used for actual car parts and things like that, but for rare customization options and parts like body kits, bounty would need to be obtained alongside money. Same with upgrading the garage or purchasing more garage space and garages in the open world, which may or may not be a thing in the next game. But let me know how you guys feel about this and if it is a go or no go sort of idea for the next Need for Speed. Yes, I am aware it won't be coming out for quite some time, but we can still discuss things that we want to see. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to go ahead and drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.